I greatly appreciate each and every one of you tuning in for this live on this holiday weekend as we have this Labor Day weekend. So don't forget to remember the troops and everybody as well. Not that it's for just the troops, but also for the laborers in the United States. But I always like to talk about the troops. But your labor workers and the ones who are actually doing some work when it comes out in the actual country and the landscape and the setting to do what you do every single day. So just be thankful for what we have. I thank everybody for tuning in. As I said, Sashir, welcome in. ATK, KB, XRP. ATK, thank you for the $20. I greatly appreciate that. Thanks for all you do. I'm sure I can speak for the group and say we greatly appreciate you. Thank you very much for that. I appreciate that. Tanya, welcome in, love. Terry, good evening. Where's everybody? 3-day weekend. I'm at home. I didn't go nowhere. Straight, welcome in, Straight 6. ATK, bad news means fewer people. Yep, there'll be fewer people here with the holiday weekend and then also with the price action. It always happens, but you know, it takes a certain mindset, and you have to learn to stay emotionless to be able to stay through these times. It becomes a very weird period that we end up facing. AJ, good evening. Johan, welcome in. Marvin, AJ, Devin, Nick Morales, welcome in. Marvin, David Kennedy, good evening. MC Prosperity. So, good evening. 7:51 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on this Saturday, September 2nd, 2023. I'm XRP Future Millionaire, and I reside in the great state of Michigan. Also, Lana, welcome in. John Hall, Jose, good evening. Dale, welcome in. Nick Morales snuck on in here. So with XRP, we've talked about this 50 cent area. This would be our first area where if we get rejected, it would force us down into this 44.6 cent range. However, if we were to break above it, we could start to maybe push up a little bit, but it's looking pretty bearish in this area. There's not much support. It doesn't mean we can't break up and push out a little bit, but in the immediate short term, we're looking more bearish than bullish. We have in the daily time frame a pending death cross here that seems like it's going to happen in the next couple days or so after this daily candle. Hold on, my tablet is shaking on this thing. All right, much better. Much better. Okay. Sorry. But XRP right now, the daily time frame, we have what is considered a death cross forming. So here's the 200-day, this blue line coming through. This is the 20-day, and I use the 20, 50, 100, 200 for the exponential moving averages. Well, the 20 crossed the 50, then it crossed the 100. Now it looks like it's about to come through here in the 200. And if it does that, it's coming up right through here. It's right around the 524. So this right here would be 1 day, probably 2 days, probably by Tuesday, Wednesday at the latest. If we continue this trajectory, we'll have this death cross. It might be even sooner than that if we stay a little bit lower. So if you have the death cross, that confirms a short-term pattern reversal. And that's all we were trying to do when we came up here for the resistance. That's why we waited for it. It happened. And now we've pushed farther. Now the rejection on the pattern breakdown on the formation on the ascending triangle brings you to the rising channel, which was formed in the short term here. If we go back here to, it's about December of 2022 and October of 22. So about a 9 to 10 month pattern where this rising channel is formed. You break that rising channel, then you come back down to the 2020 uptrend. I mean, you can hold 435. But more than likely what would happen on probably an 80% probability, if you came through here and held this, you would just ride this to fall back through. That's what would happen. Very rarely would you fall down here and show a lack of strength in that channel that was formed just to come back up, unless it was a quick wick. More times than not, you would just reject there and then try to figure it out at the 2020 uptrend, which is at about 38 cents. Marvin, thank you so much for the $19.99 donation. Wow. 2 donations tonight already. Incredibly generous. Thank you. I thank you. Alessandro, welcome in. Mo, hi Tom. Highly appreciate your dedication on this channel. Looking to dollar cost average. And yep, on the way to, yep. That's when you should be doing it. You base it around where you know. But XRP, like, for me, gets so lost in translation, but it's very simple for me. XRP's taken over a lot of things, and not just the token itself, but by way of the XRP ledger, by way of going to handle it with Swift. They already formed an alliance. Swift, even with their GPI, needs Ripple, needs XRP. It needs the liquidity of the on-demand liquidity. So it needs Ripple's ODL. It needs the speed of the ledger with XRP for transfers. It needs the lower cost because it costs too much to send through the whole bank setting. So for anybody who stays true to what this technology actually offers, it's going to pay off in dividends most people don't realize. It is going to transcend the world. It's just, what does that mean for the actual price? That's what we can speculate on, but there's no debate what it's going to do for the global transition, in my opinion. That's not debatable. I'm not a financial advisor, so when it comes to the price action, I can't make a guarantee. But what I can guarantee when it comes to how it's revolutionizing the world with the way it's moving money, there's nothing else that can move this size of liquidity. Even if there's things that are faster, you need this network to push and then continue to basically, turn things in from fiat to somebody else's native fiat, no matter whether it's a central or no matter whether it's a paper monetary policy that we have, or whether it's digital, or whether it's a gold back. You're always going to have a reason. So if it's gold back, you're going to have some kind of gold, it'll be like a digital currency, but you'll still have to transfer money from one region to the next. That's why the borderless feature is nice. Yes, there's other things that go across borders, but the way that we switch the liquidity and from one fiat to another, it's done seamlessly. That's where the real material is. That's where it's materialized. It's not with the price action. The only reason why I talk about the price action every single day is the opportunity. It's how you could get in and afford to buy this with the other technologies that are relevant. Without XRP, the rest of it doesn't go round, in my opinion. Just because you have a lot of liquidity there, not just the liquidity, but the ledger brings in a lot of the beautiful technologies like Solo that we've talked about, and Corium. It brings them through and makes them compliant in the ISO setting on the ledger. So that's something that's going to be, once people realize, it's almost like how I talk about how people just don't realize the value in gold when the US dollar is tanking. People don't realize the value in the proper crypto, especially with XRP, XLM, XDC, the ISO tokens, and the Internet of Things ones. Most people don't realize the value because no one's telling them it. The general news isn't telling them. The normal media, the social media influencers aren't saying this is why you should buy it, just telling you that it's going to go to 25,000, but lacking the ability to give the proper information. So I find value in giving not just the technical analysis, but I remember, I see value in understanding the technology as well. KB, I remember 54%. Yes, that's what I thought it would be to come down, even though the metrics were speaking otherwise at some points. I thought it was a 54% chance we'd be exactly where we're at. And that just meant that there was a better than not chance that we'd be in this exact spot we are. Free Toast, welcome in. Sean Crothers, welcome in, my main man from Maine. Hopefully you're having a good weekend. Carlo, and Bitcoin has no utility other than savings. I mean, it doesn't really have utility at all, honestly. But yeah, it's got the savings, yeah. But anything that you buy and store up has a savings. I think Bitcoin's biggest value is the fact that it was able to prove that we could send money from point A to point B and not need to use SWIFT and not need to use a government-backed system. That opened the door for the rest. Just like back in the day, you know, you had a Napster, and then one day it wasn't there, but then you had what was it? Because Kaza, and then that wasn't there. And now modern day you have iTunes, but you have to pay for everything. But all those and LimeWire, that was a backdoor into what you see today. Bitcoin is a backdoor into what we see today. And, you know, I'm starting to transcend away from just talking about the charts again within the charts and actually talking about the utility of XRP, because I went away for a long time because it was so important to understand the price action. Now the price action is important, but right now where the price is at, nobody should be asking me if you should be buying. If you haven't bought XRP yet, you need to make an educated and informed decision here when the right time is to buy. I already knew when my time to buy. For anybody who's new, I knew when my time to get back in XRP was. But I know what my strategy is as well. Right now, watching the charts, some people are like, isn't it painful to watch every day? Actually, no, it's quite informing. It makes me feel intellectually a lot stronger. Because when somebody asks me what's going on, I know the technology and I stay up to date with it every single day. But now we can see it with the charts as well. So even if some people are getting thrown off, they're like, oh, I thought with this kind of a clarity with the case. And that's another thing with the case with XRP. A lot of people are getting it wrong as well, thinking that it's just over and XRP should have ran, and now just emotionally are saying I'm done with XRP, even with the lawsuit, you know, with the clarity. We haven't got the proper clarity. We got with retail and programmaticable sales, but where the big money is not in any of those. The big money, and welcome, 78 people decided to join us on this holiday weekend. That's incredible. That is incredible. I applaud each and every one of you. Please make sure to hit that like button if you want more people to join us in this community and continue an active discussion, and also consider hitting the subscribe button. But a lot of the people make the mistake. Tom, every penny XRP rises, I make $320. It's one way to look at it. Just you know, you got to pay attention to every penny you drop too. So you kind of keep it as an even medium until we get to where we're going. You kind of don't pay attention to the numbers. So the bottom line is when you're paying attention to XRP now, you're not pricing it in for 2023 terms or 2024 terms. You're pricing it in for, okay, the fiat's going down. I need to get out of the fiat, but I need to buy into something, whether it's gold, silver, something that has utility in the future. I've got to put my money to work. Right now, the US dollar closed at 104.26. So the best thing we can do, and it's on a golden cross here, which looks like it's got more leg up. Looks like it's got eyes for that 105.30. So the best thing we can do when we're getting these buying opportunities is to buy. You know, not, you have to buy your own where you get the opportunity, but what I'm saying is there's ways to do it, accumulation and such. Yeah, silver is the most important thing, I think. Dollar cost average, all dips. Yeah, and if you have what you want, the key is not to buy when it's over your buy-in. Like for me, I hold my XRP at 34.6 cents on this buyback in the bear market. I'm not buying when it goes to 95 or 64 or 77 or 52 or 44 or 39 or 36. I'm buying 20% below 346. Nothing more, nothing less. I already bought what I needed. But now if I get the opportunity, because I'm not looking to price up my average, because now if I was adding at 90%, that's what happens. And then like somebody said, when you sell, you owe money, and that's absolutely correct, because inside of a year it's 35%. Even when you sell it outside of a year, it's 15%. So instead of thinking, oh, we need to wholesale it, start thinking along the lines of you're trying to transcend yourself into the new era when it goes digital instead of paper money. So now you have a new form of payment. So one of my forms of payment will be gold and silver. Another form of payment is going to be crypto. And the third form of payment is going to be whatever the hell they make us use. So that's why I'm telling you, try to have as many options as possible. But you're not going to want to buy crypto when this system already is in place. I mean, everybody has their own strategy. To sell at 53, to buy back at 48. I mean, it is what it is. You're paying taxes, so I mean, that's not always the smartest play in my opinion. You just have to make sure you have some money for taxes on the side. Once you do that, now you set yourself up for the taxes. Thank you, Kenny, and it's good to see you in here during the live. So that's the truth. No, you don't lose money while you hold it, but if you buy it at $1.60 and then you just use that mindset, you lose opportunity. So yeah, you might not lose money, but you lose opportunity. So the opportunity was to sell at $1.66 in 2021, to buy at $3.46 in 2022, late 2022, early 2023, for the opportunity to advance those funds that were gains into precious metals when it went down to around 1,600 in gold and around 17 bucks in silver. That's opportunity. Now you're setting up $7 a token. You understand what happened here? And the US dollars went up from around the 96, 97 tile up to 104. You're winning in a way that you can't even imagine right now. You all know I put 10 grand, if not more, into precious metals when silver was that low. And it came from my profits in crypto. Everything outside of what I needed to put back into XRP, and I was trying to teach. We're trying to teach. I don't care about whether or not anybody stays. I honestly don't. As long as I'm giving you truth. Most people do end up leaving. That's why I'm stunned that we got over 18,300 subscribers. So, yep, right now, oh yeah, crypto, Roger, that's the biggest problem. And that's what I try to tell people. If you buy silver or gold, everybody says, oh, you can't sell it at a pawn shop, they'll rip you off. They think they're getting ripped off because if it's $21 an ounce for silver, or $24 today, even on a good deal, I might be paying $26.50. That's $2.50 an ounce over, and that's on a good day. You're talking like $3.25 on general terms now. So now when you buy it, let's just say you buy a 10-ounce bar, and it costs you $275 instead of $248 like it should, and now you go to sell it, and the person's like, well, I paid $278 for this, and this pawn shop's only offering me $246. These fucks, they're ripping me off. Excuse my French. They're not ripping you off. They're just not paying you over the spot. That's where the brokers make their money. They get to charge you over the spot. Well, Tom, how can they make on an ounce? They're only making $2 or $3. Yeah, but most people aren't buying in ounces. Think of if somebody buys 1,000 ounces of silver, the overage. Think of if somebody buys 100 ounces. That's the real game. That's the real game for the dealers. So once you understand how it works, then you can walk in to a pawn shop. If you buy silver at 80 to 1 and you can walk in and say, okay, do you sell gold? And you do your research, and if they sell gold bullion, you can trade them 80 ounces of your silver. Let's say you do it at a 40 to 1 ratio, and they will give you an ounce of gold for 40 ounces of silver. Well, you bought it for 80 to 1. That's why I say the price doesn't matter. If you know the ratios, it matters because you don't want to be buying it at the top. But you want to buy the ratios properly so that you can go back and forth. So who knows how many people I talked out of here. Oh, 93 people in here now. Wow. I'm surprised so many people are here today. I can understand during the week when there's 150 or 200 people. But like on a holiday weekend, But I do appreciate everybody tuning in, and make sure to hit that like button. So 5246. Wow, there's a lot of people talking. I appreciate the active conversation. Gary, I'm glad you found it as well. Is my 1 year up when I bought the last of my XRP? Your 1 year is up. See, here's the thing. When you buy it, it bases it on whenever you bought it. So the one you bought a year ago would be up today, but the one you bought 6 months ago still has 6 months. It's based on whenever it was purchased. They all have their own life. Every one of them has their own life. If some think silver will never hit 40 to 50, then have fun not running. Oh, silver is going to hit way more than 40 or 50 in the future. You have to add a zero from where the prices are today. That's where we're going with silver. That's why I think, just like gold. Gold's not going to be around 2,500. Yeah, but the objective in a bear market, this is where a lot of people are misinformed. And this is why the rich stay rich and the poor go poorer. The rich don't sell in bear markets. You think anybody who bought XRP to start this bull market or this mini bear market rally at 34 cents sold it at 90? No. Not the institutions, because it's still inside of a year. So they're spending extreme amounts of money. So you're telling me if somebody spent $30 million and they made $60 million in profit, they're just going to willingly give up 35%? When they know how it moves and they know how the price action works, eventually we come out of the bear market into a full-blown bull market. And if not, they can wait for the normal up and down after a year. They're going to wait. That's just what I think. And that's what my experience has taught me watching how they trade. So we get caught up in the short-term momentum. That's how they get retail, futures trade. An institution wouldn't be caught dead futures trading. Because they're not stupid. Not saying we're stupid, but we're more easily manipulated because we're trying to make that easy money because we don't have that large sum of money like the institutions. The institution says, are these people crazy? How are you going to buy something that you can lose your money with in the shares? Like, even if you don't have any money, how do you expect to advance yourself if you have a chance of losing your investment so easily? XRP is absolutely at a fake out stage. There's no doubt in my mind. We had our chance to prove not a fake out. Do I think the next bull run will be the last? No. I do not think it will. I think we're going to have a mini bull run sometime in late 24, 2025 possibly. And then you're going to have a massive correction as the institutions come in leading into 26 through 28. So you could very well have another mini bull run, 24 into 26 or 25 into 26. But then have a nice pullback and then have the ultimate in 28. But you're always going to have bull to bear markets. That's another thing. For everybody who says we're going to have one ultimate bull market, it's impossible. We need to always have pullbacks, and we just do. I don't live on the hopium. Like, that's like saying in the stock market or like in the gold market that it never moves. Or most people are like, it never moves. It's just factually not correct. You don't want it to move. It's a store of value. You don't want large movements. If it's going to move large movements, you want it to take years of consolidation to establish the new price level and to be undervalued. And then when it has a nice big move of 20, 30, 40, 50, 100%, it sticks around there and then that becomes the new support. You don't want it to go boom and then back down. That's what crypto's doing. We can't level off with support. Gold, make no mistake about it. When I started on here, we established a new support around 1,600, 1,700 when it came back down in 2021, 2022. Now we're trying to establish new support around 1,880, 1,900. That's a big difference. The next support is going to be around 2,040. Once that happens and you go into discovery again, we went into discovery with gold and came right back through. It's all doing it based on the US dollar. We're not really losing value. It's just the purchasing power is becoming stronger, even though it's overinflated. In no way should it be stronger. So XRP, like I've said though, yes, it looks bearish in nature, But if we do pull up here and try to hold 50 cents, we would have to come all the way up here and break over 54 cents to first get out of the short-term range. Then you'd have to break the channel at almost 64 cents to become bullish again. Yes, there's a lot of leeway there, but XRP looks like it's in further consolidation mode. But we'll see. Nothing's ever certain. We have a holiday lengthened weekend here. So the reality is things might not play out the way we think. They always have tricks up their sleeve. But as far as it looks like, we got our rejection like we were waiting for. Up at this bearish cross up here. It only came up to 55 cents. Now it's coming through. And yeah, it does look like a Batman top. Absolutely does. And that also leads the credence that this is bearish. As a 100% disabled veteran, I'm not required to pay taxes since the money I get is already federal. Yeah, that's true. I thank you for your service. And I hope you've come to peace with your injuries. I know it can be a strenuous thing. Reverse Batman, you called that? Yeah, I mean, I would love to see this show some strength by coming down, even if it's to the bottom of the channel. True, welcome in. I greatly appreciate you tuning in. I thought I seen your name up there, but then I forgot if I seen it. Tom, are you in the camp with the feds? Yeah. I am not in the camp with the feds. Oh, in the camp that the Fed will pause? It's hard to keep raising rates when you are inflating the money supply. It's hard to print rates or keep printing rates up when you're bailing out the banks, and every time you raise the rates, it puts you further in debt. Makes you look even dumber. If they're going to raise rates, I would expect another 25, but I need to get closer to see if they're going to pause it. We'll see what the European Central Bank does. We'll see if the Bank of Canada does. We'll see what they do on the other parts of the world, because the Bank of Japan always acts first. These places always act. Especially the European Central Bank. We'll get to see what they do first, more than likely. XRP is the next big money for 1% retail. We'll get eaten up once again. Yep. I look at XRP and the ISO compliant and the Internet of Things tokens. That's a safe haven. Just like I look at gold and silver as my safe haven. Crypto is legitimately my safe haven. That's why, yes, the price matters, but it honestly doesn't for today. The only time it matters, yes, the Internet of Value is very important, Carlo. But the price doesn't matter today in the sense of it's not anywhere near where it's going to be in the, Tomorrowland. But it absolutely matters for the intraday, and that's how we could discuss the technical analysis every day for buying opportunities. Because an opportunity can also turn into a disaster if you approach it wrong. Like what one person's opportunity is a deal breaker for somebody else in the space. Like, don't put yourself in the spot where your next move is going to be your last, even though you understand the utility of what's going on in the market. It sure does, Ron D. And also, I think the most important technical analysis is not in a bull market, though. I believe the most important is going through a bear market. You don't become a millionaire in a bull market if you just start buying when the bull market's going on. You become a millionaire and very, very wealthy in the bear markets, in my opinion. So, that's why I like this space. Not because I enjoy looking at the technical analysis every day. I do like the technical analysis. But, yes, I agree with the dollar cost average. I just don't agree with it from the aspect of you can buy wherever you want because you're dollar cost averaging. Because some people, by that logic, if they bought in with me at 34.6, they also started buying at 90 and 70, and now their average is at like 50 or 60 cents, and now they're underwater. The worst thing you can do as a trader is voluntarily give up your perfect positioning. You're trying to find the most likely scenario to where you can build. So instead of buying XRP, we started buying other tokens like Algo that was 96% down. Like Solo that's 99% down when we bought it. Over 99% down. And that's not a joke. When we started buying it, it's 99% down. That's what we like to do here. Casper's absolutely undervalued, but it could be overvalued in the bear market. That's why we bought Casper. It's about 3.6, 3.7 our average, somewhere in there. Maybe a little bit higher. So we're content with our 10,000 tokens we bought on FOMO Fridays. But if it goes down a certain level, we'll buy more. I'll buy more. But honestly, with certain ones, I'm not even looking for more. I bought them and I'm waiting for the next utility run. Oh, and you guys are getting your best time today. Like I said yesterday, I feel like the Zen. I could feel the Zen because I sometimes get into a position where maybe I care too much what other people think. But this is just, hey, I think this is, I think these are important. I think it's important for everybody to look within and see exactly why you're in XRP. Do you know why we gather here is not for the price action? We come here for the unity because we love XRP. I think a lot of people forget you actually love XRP. You get so caught up in the moment with the price action and with it not being where you want it to be already and with it not going to, where you want it to be tomorrow. We're not here to get rich today. We're here to have a form of payment tomorrow. This isn't even about to get rich. We're not doing this to get rich. We're doing this to transcend our fortune, transcend the way we live tomorrow. That's the difference. Today we're in paper fiat. Tomorrow we're in a digital era. I'm positioning myself today out of the fiat into my gold and silver and XRP so that tomorrow, when this is the way of payment, we're ahead of the curve when people are putting it in for 10 and 15 and 20 and 30 and 50 and 100 times the value because it's going to go up. It's going to go up. Even if it never gets to $1,000, 10 times the value from here is $350. 100 times the value is only 35 bucks. To think XRP will never hit 35 bucks in its history, I think is pretty foolish. So just think about that. That means 10,000 shares that you bought at 35 cents or $3,500 is worth 300,000. That is how you transcend things. It might not be 3 million or 3 billion, but what would you do with $300,000? And think of an environment where you don't have to sell it out for cash. You get to use that 300,000 in wealth to buy a house, to buy your groceries, to put gas in your car, to put food on the table, to keep the lights on. That's what we're trying to do. We're not trying to do this so that we can sell into fiat. I'm going to start talking more and more and more and more and more and more like this because this is the truth. This is why you're buying. You're not buying it for any other reason. Flex RP, I freaking love Filecoin. What do you think of Filecoin? Brad G keeps it on his portfolio. I've done some light research and it looks interesting. Can you do some TA on it? In the future, I can. I used to do a ton of research on it in 2021, 2022, the TA for everybody. And thank you for the $5 donation. I talk about Filecoin all the time. Even in here now, when I talk about the Internet of Things, you have VeChain, you have DGB, and you have IOTA for the cheaper ones, especially DGB and VeChain. You have Theta, which is a little more expensive, and then you have Filecoin for the more expensive one. These are in the Internet of Things, and in fact, Filecoin is the new Internet. Filecoin actually runs Internet 2.0. So when you get into the smart houses and the smart cities and all this stuff, and the digital technology where AI is controlling things, because AI needs a way to do things. It needs a way for its programs to be run and a way for it to be on the main net, I'll call it. This is how it's done through those coins I just mentioned, and Filecoin is a very big part of it because it's basically the brains. No. IOTA's the brains. Filecoin's the actual network for everybody to get on, like me and you. It's actually like the internet. So basically, you've got the brain, which is IOTA. You've got the functionality, which is Filecoin. You've got the layers with Theta, VChain, and DGB. Those are your layers. Each one holds their own unique system, their own unique play. But I think, man, it's going to be so much funner. I'm telling you, I've been thinking about this a lot. The one thing I used to enjoy in 2021 and early 2022 is I would just come on and talk about the utility. But remember, I said in 2022 I was not going to do that anymore until the time was right. And I've been talking a lot more about the news and stuff. But it's time for everybody to realize why it's so important. And not just for the utility of the technology, but for the utility of payments. Most people don't realize you're going to be able to use your cryptocurrency sooner rather than later. Sooner rather than later as a form of payment. I do it. A lot of people do it in the US. There's 16 financial institutions that already accept it, including AMC. Well, in certain regions already in the USA, you can buy your tickets online using XRP. Now consider the fact you might be spending your XRP for a $10 movie ticket, and that $10 movie ticket at some point in the future could be worth $100,000. You know, that's what happened to people with Bitcoin. Yep, Terry, I understand that. Good time to buy now on Filecoin. I definitely need to look at Filecoin, but the problem with Filecoin is it's one of the ones, last I checked, it was around $4. And for me, when I'm looking at opportunity, I'm looking at an opportunity where I can buy some that I feel like in the future are going to get up to those areas, like Filecoin. I just want to see the token. I don't want to add it. I just want to see the price. Oh, I hit add. You gotta love when something like when it ruins a good thing, ladies and gentlemen. Basically, TradingView is trying to ruin a good thing with good advertising because they don't let you keep so much stuff unless you want to buy the stuff. But the whole reason I do what I do is to show everybody how to do things for free, not so they have to spend more money they don't have. Whoops. So you just go around it. So we just go into this one. I created a new one. So File. And I love File. My cousin owned it. I talked about it in 2021 when it was, oh, it's down to 318 now. Wow. My cousin had it, and I'm telling you, this token, when you see how high this was, this is amongst one of the biggest breakdowns you'll ever see. Told my cousin he was going to lose his, you know what. He ended up selling it when it got down around 90, but he had it all the way up here through this entire run. Remember when I said we like to buy coins 99% off? Tokens, 95% off? Filecoin's like 98% off right now, is the bottom line. So, yeah, that's definitely one that I'm watching. I think Filecoin could still fall farther, but the fact it's at $3.18, it brings it a little bit out of what I want to do. Because I'm trying to build up the other ones that I've talked about before I get out to the more expensive ones. So until I finish out those, you know, it's not even in my realm of thinking right now. I love Filecoin, but there's just so many of them. You know, there's so many of them. Solo is one that's very important because it's only got a 399.9 circulating supply, a million circulating supply right now, 400 million max supply. It's on the XRP ledger. Very, very intriguing. It's been up over $6. It's at 9 cents. So XRP at 4981. I don't know how many people decided to stick around. Okay, more people than started. 101. Thank you all so much. Solo is absolutely gold. And it's part of the whole CBDC initiative as well, as we talked about yesterday on FOMO Fridays. So, anybody have any opinions? I love Filecoin though, so I would advise if you have the capital to start with that as well. I didn't know why I have 2,000 solo. It's doing nothing. I don't know why I have 2,000 solo. What do you mean it's doing nothing? I'm just starting to accumulate solo. I mean, why do you have it? If you have to ask that question, you probably shouldn't have it. That's the problem with everybody. You're expecting too much right now. It's the accumulation phase, which means it's not supposed to do anything except continuation. It's a continuation. So, Corium's nice. I haven't talked about Corium a lot on the station, but I like Corium on the XRP ledger as well. If you want to relax with me, now would be the time. Cannabis, if it's legal where you're at. Yes, I'll pull it for solo. That's what we do FOMO Fridays. Yes. What is Corium at right now, price-wise? Is anybody... Let me see. I'll start a section on this page for the next in line. I don't know which one I use for my Corium chart. Ah, yes, okay. So this is the Corium chart that I was using. So we're all within this formation, but Corium is another one that's had a really big breakdown. And yeah, sometimes you can't... I wouldn't pay attention to this, folks. This is just... You know, we had a big wick up, but I don't necessarily pay attention to that. I'd rather look at the hard consolidation. And if you want to look at the body up here at $8, so be it. But I prefer to look at recent times because there's a lot of volatility. So, I mean, you can even look back from here and see how much we're down. From 85 cents down to where we're at. It's a magnificent breakdown. And now one would ask, how much farther can it possibly go down? You can't go all the way down there. So, I mean, Corium can only go so far. So I would say this is probably the max drop if it does come down in that area. I'm not even saying it's going to do that. I'm saying if we're looking for a max potential on a breakdown, if we break out of that area, we're going to just try to... I mean, look how far that could go. You're talking about 5 cents. It could come even far. It actually is a little bit farther. Yeah, 3.9. So if you break this formation, you're looking at 3.9. But are you really going to break this? It's a tough call. So that's Corium. Looks like we're on a small bull flag here with Corium. So just be aware. But those are your levels right now. Your next resistance, downtrending resistance, is up around 10.7. So fun times, fun times. DGB, speaking of the Internet of Things, I think DGB still got higher ambitions to come retest this area. It's just this is where the formation is at right now. We just couldn't get back up here. We did test it here. So if we consolidate on, we're going to retest the 6 cent, or the 006, I should say. That's where it looks like we have ambitions. If we break this, DGB is going to come down to the 00518. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time on DGB. XDC. We still maintain over the 575 pivot level. That is important. I haven't updated this chart at all because I want to see how we react in this area. Because if we react poorly, we'd make our way back down to like that 3.8 level, assuming we lose the 4.5. But this still is a bull flag possibly here on the short term. So we possibly could still come up to 7 cents. But it all hinders on the fact that we hold the 575 pivot with XDC. XLM. It looks much like XRP. If XLM loses the 200-day here, which it looks like it's going to, it looks like it's probably going to. It has a chance, even if it's going to lose it, to still come back up here one more time. But there's not a lot of pressure here right now. And once we lose the 200-day and reject here on the bottom side of this at around 11.2, This will likely push us down to the 8-7, if not further, back into the bottom of this channel that was formed. It's much like XRP, what we formed. Hold on, sorry about this. You know what I've noticed? We've got a lot more mosquitoes here in Michigan right now, for some reason. Alright, sorry about that. We just got a lot more mosquitoes here, so I did a little natural remedy real quick. It's alright. That should help, those little bastards. So that's XLM, because it's forming the same formation XRP did, and we're just a little bit behind in the formation. This looks like a topping reversal. This looks like nothing more than the right arm here. In fact, you can see this uptrend form from way down here, and once we lose it, it's going to be a busted pattern, just like this. It fills perfectly. So once that breaks, we're coming back down to the consolidation. And that would also be where the Deathcross is going to end up validating itself, if it comes to fruition. So I'm not going to keep that up because it starts to cloud this. But basically what you're looking for is you're going to end up looking for a drop from here down to right here. Yes, this is the layer, but you're going to be looking to hit the bottom of this channel. That's what I would be looking at. JW, welcome in. So glad to see you tuning in, my friend. As always. I seen another comment. Who said? Well, once somebody else comments, I'll acknowledge the other one that I wanted to. Codizer, welcome in. Kyle Kupiak in the house. Them Chinese Russian mosquitoes are vicious, yes. They sure are. I'd rather them not come by me. So, I take preventative measures now. So that's XLM. Bitcoin is another good one to talk about. We have the Deathcross now. Well, actually we don't because it came back through. No, we do actually. We got the validation. So we've got the Deathcross. And now it looks like we have higher ambitions because Bitcoin, just like XRP, looks like it's got the Batman top in a way. Yeah, maybe not the same. No, I take that back. It pulled down a little bit here. It's not exactly the Batman top. Got a big rejection. But this could be just a little bit of an arm up here. That looks very bearish in nature. And Bitcoin, if it breaks down, we're coming down to the lower downtrend. Likely, if this formation breaks, you do have 24,600 area, but you could be coming down to 23,800. I think that's where we might have eyes for. So just be aware of what could be coming here. We broke down out of the broadening wedge. We knew the technical target on a breakdown. We knew the technical target on a break up. Unfortunately or fortunately, depending on how you're looking at it, because I don't care which way it goes. I honestly don't care. If it goes down lower, I can accumulate more with certain ones. But if it goes up, there's other ones that are still falling that I can accumulate on. So it's all just a matter of perspective. I've done my job. Now my job is to continue to accumulate, continue to advance what I have. And the other thing I don't look at is dollar amount right now. I couldn't give two shits what's in my accounts. Because in the future, it's not about how much it is in there. It's not right now. Maybe in the future, if I'm going to use it for a purchase. But right now, I don't know of any house I can go to and use my money. And with the amount that's there, it's not going to buy a house. And if I sell out of it, what am I using it for? What, new video game systems? To go party? I mean, what am I using the money for? To buy a new vehicle that I don't need? To buy new stuff I really don't need? And I know I don't need it because I'm living just fine today. Like, that's the thing. What are we selling for? Are we selling just to buy more stuff? Because let me tell you, this stuff is what is killing the United States. Because we are a debtor nation. We're inflationary. We have to print in money. We have to create inflation to succeed, to pay our bills. We don't export anything. We import it, or we don't, we don't export anything. We import everything, which means we're buying it from somebody else to give us our goods. That is not good. Yes, give to the homeless. Yes. But you have to build a foundation to get there. Some can't afford to give to the homeless. Some can't even afford to put gas in their gas tank. Some can't even afford to have a gas tank. Some are living in a tent. Some are living behind the shelters. The biggest gift we have right now is to stay ahead of what's coming. Me personally, my finances, shaky at best. The amount things went up definitely kicks you in the nuts. My house payment, because of the new equity when they redo it in August every year, my equity went up, but also my escrow when they did it went up. My mortgage, it stayed the same, but when you add the escrow in, my house payment went up. Even though the house payment stays the same, the escrow within it, that's an extra almost $600 a month with how much taxes and homeowners went up. So just think about it. You're paying something and then all of a sudden $600 more because of the environment we're in. We're talking about right now, we're only at about 7.5%, 8%, 7.5% interest. What's going to happen when state tax goes up? Now it doubles with the homeowners, I should say. Or housing, we have to position. So now it's one of those things. I don't even care to go out and do anything now. So you're going to see even more of me here. I don't go out and do anything to begin with. I'm a very easy person. Because I stack when I can. So right now, what does that mean? Well, that means that there's not as much precious metals buying. That means there's not as much investing. It doesn't mean that you can't push with what you already have. You just have to make it proportionate. So now I have to take out, that's $600 a month. That means this year, that's another $7,200 I've got to come up with. That doesn't count any food, the expense in electricity, or any of the payments. That's just because of how much your insurance went up on the house and your taxes in summer and winter. And the government can keep raising that. Remember how I said they're trying to squeeze the middle class? This is how you squeeze the middle class. They're squeezing us to death. You know how you get out of being squeezed? You take the money you have and you put it in the righteous cause. You put it in a place that matters. You're not looking to buy a fucking baseball card. No offense to baseball collectors. You're not looking to buy a Pokemon stack. You're not looking to go buy, the coolest Star Wars things or just all the stuff that could be cool and could add value in nature. But who the hell is going to buy it? When it all comes down to it, you don't want to buy treasures. You want to buy gold. You don't want to buy the buried. So basically what ends up happening in the next part of market we're going into, the next part of the market and the cycle we're going into, anything that depends on consumer to make a profit and it's not the essentials. So I mean like buying jewelry, buying video game systems, buying TV, the things that aren't essential. TVs and stuff people make essential, but the stuff that's not essential, people are going to get hit hard. Those companies are going to get hard. Those stocks are going to go down. It's the ones that are essential and have utility into this next chapter that'll find investors. But most people, the middle class as you know it and I know it is gone. I don't know where the hell I'm at now. I used to be in the bottom end of, I would say, the lower middle class, especially when I first moved out on my own. I was definitely, I don't even know if I was considered middle class. I didn't even have any money to begin with. But I guess lower middle class for the fact I had a place to live and whatever. But then I squeezed myself firmly into the middle class. Now they're trying to squeeze me out. And I have more income than I ever have, but the bills are more expensive than I've ever seen, and I'm almost 40 now. So I've never seen anything like this. It's just we're being squeezed. So it's very easy to sell yourself and sell your principles based on $1. That's why I say it's easy when it's the best time is the trying times of society to see who's willing to buckle, to see who's willing to sell out for $1. I could very easily make my situation a lot easier if I sold my soul and sold this station to paid sponsors and advertisers and merge with some companies that are asking me to allow them to run. You know how many offers I've got now? This is the craziest thing. I didn't know this was even possible until I got the 17,000 subscribers in the first offer. I got offered to be part of a company, and they would do the promotion, advertisement. I would keep the legal standing for I would own the copyright for my station, but they would have the legal ability to put it out in the way they want, and my voice would be used, and they could be the ones talking behind it and using my voice. They could show, and that's what I could do. Basically like what you've seen with BitBoy Crypto. I didn't realize what happened there, and then I started thinking about it, and think about that. I could sell the rights to my episodes, and they would pay me for everything I do. But you know it wouldn't stay my words. And then they could hack it up how they want, and then they could put anything behind it they want. And then they can kick you out, exactly. And that's what I'm saying. You have to be very careful. I didn't realize what was happening. Do you know how lucrative it was? You're talking a 6-figure gig. And that is not a joke. I've been offered over 6 figures. I've been offered to do 30-second videos on YouTube, and they want to pay me $1,500 to $2,000 for my audience. You ever wonder why Peter Schiff and all these people, they have to do it. They're giving you a free service. Remember, Peter Schiff, Mike Maloney, Robert Keelis, all these guys don't have to do it. They're offering a free service. But the ones who are doing it like me, who don't have anything to offer except their own personal experience, we don't run hedge funds, we don't do anything, we don't push monetary policy, we don't run the actual companies. We have our advice. So for me to take a $2,000 paying gig for 30 seconds or a minute, just so somebody else can lose their money, it doesn't seem right to me. So I have a conscience. I know it's very rare in this world, but I don't value money over everything. My soul is more important than the mighty dollar. I know in the long run, doing it the right way, I'm going to earn what I deserve. I'm going to put the time in, but it's amazing what is actually going on in the space, and it's very scary. And I wouldn't have known about it, but now I'm almost up to 18,400 subscribers. It's amazing the doors, but also the absolute tragedy that is opened once your channel starts getting bigger. So that's why I keep saying, if you ever see me start doing paid advertisements or paid promotions or sponsorships, I'm compromised. Because it honestly, when you talk about it, it is hard. When you look at the money, and then you look at what's going around in the world, and then you can see how much you can make, and just bam, I do this 6-7 times a week, 15, 20 times a month. Imagine that, 20 times a month, that's $2,000 each, that's $40,000 a month. That's $480,000 a year. That's some real money you're talking about. Now, would I have the same principle as if I did that? This is my thing. Here's my bottom line. Even if I'm not doing it for you, which I am, and myself, ultimately, if I took that route, would I have the same interest in coming here every day and looking at the charts? Would it mean as much to me to do this right? No, because even if I fuck this up, I would get paid more to screw it up. I would get more to give you the wrong advice. That's the most disturbing part. You make more money, the more people that buy in when it goes down. I always say, you're here for liquidity and nothing else. Because I've seen the darker sides. Oh, you don't have to thank me, Summertime, for my integrity. You can thank the experience that I've been put in. And I get a lot of criticism in the comments, especially today. Apparently, a lot of people didn't like my comment when I said, give thanks to your Lord and Savior Jesus Christ today, especially on the holy day it is today. And I got a lot of negative comments if you look at my video from this morning. But when you look at your circumstances, you hold on faith. Like, I haven't taken the same route as most people. So my integrity's intact. So yes, haters are gonna hate, but at the same time, no, mugs just tune it out. Yes, This is how you tune it out, though. You continue to be yourself. The point in recognizing it and acknowledging it is to say it's not relevant if you just continue to be true to yourself. It doesn't matter. Yes, happy Sabbath, Mike. Amen. But that's my point. If you stay true to yourself, it doesn't matter what everybody else says. The people that are going to find you and relate to you are going to stick around. The ones who don't will go somewhere else, and that's okay. You don't want them crowding up this energy. That's the point. But if you start giving in to what everybody else wants, then you start to become a society filled, or your surroundings are filled by something you're not. You are what you are surrounded by. That's because you create your surroundings, not the other way around. Your surroundings don't create you. You create your surroundings. So if I'm a drug addict, I'm going to hang around drug addicts. If I'm not a drug addict, I'm not. So the surroundings are still there with drug addicts. I'm just not one. The bars are there. I'm just not a drinker. But those surroundings are there. You know, the stadiums are there. I'm just not in those surroundings anymore. I don't go to sports arenas. I used to a lot when I was younger, so I was in those surround. You know, you surround yourself. I surround myself in the crypto space with others in this that are like-minded. I'm surrounding myself with investing. That doesn't mean gambling. Investing is a lot different than gambling. So I'm not speaking in circles anymore. You know, the ones that are gonna like me who like me, and the ones who don't are going to find their soul somewhere else, and they're going to find their solace and their serenity at some point. I just hope it's not too late. So when I say speak in circles, I mean up and down, up and down. I don't really care if it goes up and down. Bottom line, I don't. I cover it every single day so I can stay transparent with myself, and so that I can see the next opportunity, so I can line up my next opportunity. The rest of it's just show. This is all for show. The charts are for show, for me, to get me through the day. But it builds my knowledge. The news builds my knowledge, but it's just for show until we get to where we're going. Because the charts are manipulated. Yes, we understand the range, but remember what I always say, it's going to do this unless a spike in volume comes in, which means it's the manipulation coming in. I agree, Terry. I agree. So the charts, let's say we got 100 million in volume tomorrow. Oh, we're going to go up. Oh, we're going to crash big time depending on what kind of volume it is. But let's just say we got 100 million in buy volume. And we go up 75%. Well, that was an anomaly. You can't chart that, but you'll be able to see it right when it starts coming in. So you're not going to go up 75% at once. So when that first 15 million comes in on the 30-minute candle, all of a sudden you're, holy shit, we just shot up 4.5%. And in the last 6 minutes, we got 10 or 12 million. What is going on? But by paying attention to the charts, you get that first hint. You're ahead of the curve. You don't want the lagging indicator to start flashing. And then you're like, wait a minute, what the hell is going on? Fair enough, high def. You'll be out. And where are you going to be? You hate XRP, where are you going to be? I'm just curious. I love when people say that. I have XRP now, but I'll hate it, boss. And that's all I can picture. Just like the ones in here who say, well, boss, you know what? I don't want to offend anybody. Well, Tom, you know, I sold out at 86 cents, and I've been saying we were going to have this drop, and I've been calling this. Well, Bob, why do you have to justify it from where you sold out? Well, Tom, because it makes me sound smart. Well, Bob, what, you don't think I'm going to justify what you're saying because you didn't sell? What, so if you didn't sell out there, I'm not going to justify your response? Well, Tom, you know, I just think it's better to lead with what I've done right so that you'll give me credit. Well, you don't have to do that, Bob. You just have to be comfortable with what you're saying and confident and lead with it. You don't have to say, imagine if every time I spoke I said, well, XRP. I don't want to get Bob mad. Imagine if every time I sold out or every time I started saying something, I said, XRP is going to be on ladies and gentlemen, I bought in at 364. So I know when you should buy your next time. No. Or ladies and gentlemen, I sold at $1.66. So I know that a Deathcross is coming in XRP. Like, who cares? No, I know that a Deathcross is coming because of the indicators that are about to flash. Not because I sold at $1.66, not because I bought back at 36 cents. That's not why I know. So you don't have to keep justifying everybody with where you sold out. And I am real. So for being real, that is real. Just tell me what you think. Honestly, when somebody tells me where they sold out and then justify a response, okay, so all I ever think is, so what, is that an insult to anybody else who's accumulating? I don't understand. Like, I'm not sure. Why only hold 10,000? I've got, yes, yes, yes. Why only, that's the best too. Oh, you only got 10,000 XRP. Yep. Not even worth holding that much. You know, yeah, I know you know, because you just said it. $1's not bad in the grand scheme, but your job right now, if you have $1 average, here's what everybody misunderstands about my philosophy and why it works. So if you bought at $1, you need to be in a position where every time it goes 20% below, you can buy 20% more in the 5 equal buys. If you can't, it's too expensive. Which means if you spend all your money at $1 and you can't afford to do it in 5 equal buys on the way down, not saying it'll go that low, that means you should buy it lower. So if I have, like I said, I couldn't buy it when I sold out, I wouldn't have been able to buy it at 16,600 to do everything I wanted. So you have to wait for the opportunity. Win 20 cents? Maybe never. Maybe right around the corner. We won't know until the proper areas break. Right now, the only thing I care about, not 20 cents, because that's part of the emotional tug. I only care about right now when this Deathcross is going to happen. If this Deathcross happens, I know we're coming down to the next area, which is the rising channel at 44.6. Then if that breaks, I know we have a date with the double bottom, which probably won't hold. We could even bounce around in here. And after that, I know we go to the 2020 uptrend at 38 cents. After that, maybe the 20 cents, because that's the next uptrend, is that 20 cents. And that's the 2017 uptrend. No reason for me to even care about it until we get to 37.5 cents. But I understand what you're saying. Wins 20 cents, that's another thing everybody's saying. I know what you're saying, Prosperity Fund. Don't think I was just saying that at you. I was just saying, I get it, and that's my response. Everybody always says that. Wins 20 cents. XRP only cost us money. XRP's a shit coin. I just ask you, you know, with the return, what else are you buying in 2023 that you could have bought at 36 cents that has the returns it even has now, to where you could sell out right now out of your feet to go back to fiat if you want? So ready? What other returns could you have even today? You bought in at let's say 347, a little bit higher than where we bought. But what else could you have returns on your money? Let's consider this, of 43%. Certainly not sitting in the bank. So you can take that 43%, you can do whatever the hell you want with it. Personally, I don't care. But if you want to continue to accumulate, I don't give a flying fuck anymore what you're doing with it and why we're stupid for holding it, because personally, I don't think we're stupid. I think I speak for all of us who are accumulating. We know the bigger picture. And if that makes me rude, I apologize. Only because I swore. I don't give a flying schmaghetti what you do with it. How about that? How about them apples? But anyhow, going back to positivity over negativity. That's me saying, you know, that's what I think when I see those responses all the time. Or I do all this work on the charts, right? I'll do a long update. Technical analysis doesn't matter. Well, slap me silly and call me Sally because my technical analysis doesn't matter and it couldn't have predicted a rally if you smacked me in the face and called me Sally. How do you like them apples, JW? See, that was a fan that just drove by. Fans driving by everywhere. Right, Clint? And as you guys can see, we're at the end. We're getting towards the end. Not done yet because I'm having fun. But we're relaxing with the cannabis that I just relit. But these, I always tell you, if you want to hear Tom, so basically, like Peter Griffin said, you want to know what grinds my gears? And I need to come up with the right saying. You know what really grinds my grotesques, but that's not the right thing. You know what really grinds my holdings? And you know, it's like one of those things. But I know everybody can relate, right? Who sits here and thinks that all the time? Like, who cares? Just what can you add? What are you adding of value? Period. And 93 of you are still watching. And the real Peter Griffin on YouTube is hilarious. Hilarious. That's one person I do follow on YouTube. What grinds my gears is Gary Gensler having the audacity to still smile and not use turtle wax on that bald head. It's just very inappropriate in these times. I want to see my reflection in that balding head of his. At least give me that. No offense to anybody who's bald. After all, I do wear a hat all the time, so, you know, what does that say about me? But, you know, it's a holiday weekend. What can I say? I can only be real, you know. Did you see that video, Rich Men North of Richmond? I don't think so. But does anybody else have anything else to say? XRB 3%er from Halifax, Nova Scotia. So I should get ready to load up. Depends where you what your strategy is, but yeah, I would definitely get ready if we break this formation. If we head up back towards that 2020 uptrend, my whole philosophy is anything south of 40 cents is a great buy, a steal. Sub 40 cents has always been my motto. If you can get it sub 40 cents, you are doing something right. And technically, you know, even if you're not bought in yet, you have to consider we're under 50 cents. Sub 50 cents is still a tremendous freaking buy, don't get me wrong. Tom positive, off-grid in Oregon, don't hate. Yep. I'm not hating. I actually respect the crap out of that being off the grid. Are you kidding? Why would I hate? Well, I sold at $1.66 after having a 47-cent average in 2021. That's why I always tell people, I'm not selling right now. I didn't buy back in at 34.6 and not having it for a year and a half just to sell it back on the first small move. See, people consider 1, 2, and even 500% a big move. At a zero, I want 10 times my money at minimum. I've seen it so many times before. 10 times isn't what most people think. 10 times is getting to all-time highs again, remember? Do you wonder why I targeted this area? If I believe in the 10x, well, if I buy at 34.6 and it goes to all-time highs, I've made 1,000%. I've done my job, and then some. You should be worried about capital gains. Nobody wants to give up 35% of their money. So I do what I do. Well, guys, we're winding down here, so I appreciate everybody. Make sure you hit that like button. I do appreciate everybody. Still 100 people here right now. Wow. Consider joining Tom's Army. It's one way to support me. If you want to pay it forward. Or you could always send a YouTube super chat if you felt the need. But really, I just appreciate everybody being here. I honestly, bro, let me ask you something. September in the markets are known as a risk number. Brick timber, do you feel like maybe this time is a little different? I don't know, Clint. A lot of times September is very, very bearish. I think we're going to start off very bearish here. How are we going to end? Well, that's the question. But this looks like an all foregone conclusion here. We came up for the retest and we had it. I'm not filled with hopium. I'm only realistic. So I think we're coming down, especially if we lose 50 cents, or even if we come up and get rejected at 54. That's a terrible sign if we have to break down out of this formation, especially if we don't ever come back above 50 cents, then come back through. Who will get rocked? Why would you feel stupid, Clint? I don't understand. Why would you feel stupid? Why? So if it comes to 37.5 cents or whatever, why would you feel I don't understand that philosophy. No, you should have. So I'll give you a reason to feel smart. If you would have bought it in 2021 at the top of the bull market where many people did, it would have cost you $19,800 for 10,000 tokens. Where you bought it, it cost you $4,200. Do you still feel stupid? Didn't think so. That's the false narrative in your brain right now. That's the other thing. It's another thing that I need to get you guys off of sounding like that. Don't play the victim where you bought it. Everybody was so eager to buy XRP, but now that they own it, they're the victim on everything about it. It's a piece of shit. My average is in the shitty spot. I don't know what I'm doing with it. It's taking too long. It's got too many tokens. I didn't know about circuit. It's all. Don't worry about that. You bought it at 42 cents. You should be buying it 20% cheaper if you're so worried about it. Every time it goes 20% lower, you buy it. So that's what you need to do. But don't feel stupid. Much love to you, Clint. Don't feel stupid. And my point is you're smart. You are smart. You bought it at 42 cents when many bought it at $1.50 or $1.20 or $3. Remember, there's somebody holding it at 20 cents. There might be somebody watching right now or in the update when it comes out that bought it in the 2017 highs at $3.30 area. And there's also somebody who bought it in 2021 at $1.75. And there's also somebody who bought it in mid-2022 at $1.30 who's saying, Clint, you motherfucker, how would you like to have it at $1.35, $1.73? 42 cents, or like I'd give my left nut for that. Excuse my French. I'd give my left grotesque. That's where some people are at, so you should be very blessed where you hold it. I'll be real. So I'm XRP Future Millionaire. Before I say anything that's going to get me in more trouble, I appreciate each and every one of you. And I bid you all a farewell. Be safe on this holiday weekend. And I will see you tomorrow at the very least on the live. But I'll also see you during some updates as well in between. Stay blessed, everybody.